I remember back in the day when I barely knew about the game, the life of a Blue Hive macro, making videos to relatively small audience. Life is simple. Until it doesn't. Hystine, how do I make more honey? At first, I don't want to answer it because you guys gotta understand that I've been playing Beeswarm Simulator for only 3 months at the time. I knew nothing about the game, let alone helping people about their progress. But to my surprise, my advice worked! Of course, it all started going downhill from there, from 1 DM per day to eventually 3 DMs to eventually 10 DMs per day. It doesn't matter, early game, mid game, late game player, even veteran Beeswarm YouTuber asked me how to make more honey. And they've played the game longer than me. Someone else! Eventually, it got to a point where the DM simply overwhelms me. So to satisfy all party from the past, present, and future, hey, selamat sejahtera, my name is Professor Hystine and let me introduce you the most boring, worst Blue Hive guide ever created. Let me ask you a simple question. What is the most important factor when it comes to making honey as a Blue Hive? Is it A, a good hive? Or B, an endgame item like the Tide Popper? Or C, good and expensive beequip? Or D, a good amulet with a 5 out of 5 passive? So yeah, what's the most important? A, B, C, or D? If your answer is either A, B, C, or D, congratulations! You are making no honey! It hurts my soul. The real answer is Nectar. 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 Nectar.
Yeah, what can I say, you know, the Nectar situation is crazy. It is literally insane. It's one of the biggest, I would say the biggest drama there is on the internet right now.
Pretty simple. As you can see, here's a level 10 hive. Okay, this guy, I specifically trained this guy to make more honey just for me to make this video. So as you can see, from no nectar, 5 nectar, 1 billion per hour to 7 billion per hour. 13% of satisfying nectar improved my hourly honey by 30 billion? Oh wow, look, fish swims in the sea. Here's another hive, by the way. Level 17 hive, 400 billion per hour, no nectar. Shoot, 700 billion per hour, 5 nectar. Here's another one, 200 billion per hour, barely any nectar. 900 billion per hour, full on nectar. And then here's another one. Okay, thank you so much for this guy, by the way, because this guy specifically losing nectar from 10 trillion per hour, no nectar goes down to 1 trillion per hour. In his word, he specifically mentions that I made a lot less without nectar. This is because I convert a lot slower, meaning less time gathering. I made less from balloon because, you know, nectar has the honey head hive. I collect less because, you know, smaller balloon, so less to convert, and less bee ability, therefore from motivating nectar. So yeah, please maintain all 4 nectar, and it's so easy too. Just get all 4 of this planter, which is very obtainable. Okay, if a level 10 hive can do it, you can do it. And then just follow this macro setting. That's it. Get all 4 of this nectar and follow this macro setting. And obviously be very disciplined. Most of you guys are not stupid, but it hurts my soul when someone came to me with a perfect hive, perfect 5 out of 5 amulet, perfect beequip with a Tide Popper, and they're making 200 billion per hour, and they're confused as to why they're not making honey. It is nectar. In fact, nectar is probably the biggest reason why 99% of you right now who is watching this video are not making honey. You can have a bad hive, you can have a bad beequip, you can even have bad amulet, but by any means necessary, you do not have a bad nectar. You know, at first my original idea is just me. I want to talk about what's the best hive, go ahead and copy this and that, and you're gonna make a trillion amount of honey. But that video is dumb, that idea is dumb. The reason being is because that you guys are gonna follow this hive not knowing what to do with it, and you're probably gonna screw some things up, and you're not gonna be making any honey. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scratch the whole idea, make a new recording, and give you guys a hive compositioning thing. Not just hive compositioning, but compositioning thing. So instead of telling you what you should do, I'm just gonna do the opposite, which means that I'm gonna teach you what you should not do. Common mistake you make as an early game, mid game, non-macroer, RBC as blue, and the diamond B meta. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and make a general assumption here is that, first of all, I'm assuming that you can macro. I'm also assuming that you have Supreme Star Amulet with Pop Star. And I'm assuming that you have a general understanding of what a blue hive is supposed to look like. But don't worry, if you cannot macro and if you don't have the general understanding of what you should do as a blue hive, it's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and give you tits and bits here and there, and you can go ahead and pieces the puzzle yourself. Mistake number 1, early game. As an early game player, I would like to use the cheeseburger terminology, you know. Before you make a cheeseburger, you're making a plain old burger. You add cheese, it becomes a cheeseburger. So the simple analogy, what I'm trying to say here is that before you learn how to make a solid blue hive, first you gotta learn how to make a solid hive. And this is where a lot of early player fumble. They always forgot about the fundamentals, which is boost token producer, baby love token producer, focus token producer, and melody producer. So this is what I mean by it, okay? You want to change to an early blue hive, don't forget about the fundamentals. I'm talking about for baby B and for music B and looker B and commander B for the focus token. Again, when you change to an early blue hive V0 version 0 for the first time, make sure that you maintain for baby B. A lot of early player fumbles, they don't put for baby B and then they're not making a lot of honey. Again, baby love token gives you twice the amount of honey times 2 pollen. You're gonna be making twice the amount of pollen, twice the amount of honey. So of course, again, level 12 for the first time, when you switch to a blue hive for baby B, if you cannot afford a gifted Tadpole B, please maintain your baby love token with 4 baby B. Mistake number 2 as a mid-game player. As a mid-game player, things start to get really boring because there's nothing else for you to do other than leveling up your bees or make your bees more gifted. Generally, what you should do first as level 15 is that you need to replace all your baby bee with gifted Tadpole B. Again, gifted Tadpole B. Not Tadpole B, gifted Tadpole B to replace baby bee. And then of course, now you can start gifting boy and bee. And the way that you do it is, of course, I would like to use the 2-in-1 ratio, which is every 2 gifted boy and bee, you'll give 1 gifted Tadpole B. And the way that you do it is that you're making a lot of honey. With honey, you buy tickets. And with tickets, you buy star tree. And then you can start gifting those bees. Another mistake that I see a lot of mid-game player does is that they lack collaboration. You know how people have been complaining, right? Oh no, the coconut canister and bee quip, coconut clog, and the diamond mask is so hard for me to get. The ingredient is super grindy to get. Is that really mostly grindy? I mean, yes, it is grindy. But another reason is because that a lot of people forgot to do collaborations. So what I have here is 4 of the biggest server that do a lot of hosting. For example, I'm gonna be going into one of the big server here, the natural macro server. And as you can see, looking for, look at that, LF Pine Sprout Party. For those of you who are struggling to get blueberries, there we go. Sprout Party literally today at 8:12 p.m. Another one, if you want to complete Gummy Bee Quest, Robo Party. For those of you who wanted to get Tide Popper. For those of you who are looking to get the Tide Popper, or maybe those Swirl Wax, or maybe those Caustic Wax. This is the biggest mistake that a lot of mid-game player does, is because they don't do a lot of collaboration. If anybody is hosting any Sprout parties, any Puffshroom parties, join them. This is how you get material. This is how progress in Bee Swarm Simulator. As a late game player, probably had all the items, you know, the coconut clogs, maybe gummy boots at this point, coconut canister, diamond mask. You probably had pedal belt and pedal wand and stuff and whatnot. So the mistake that I see is that they forgot about the overfill and the underfill. Now, the overfill and the underfill situation is really easy for you to understand. It is almost always better to have more than to have less. It is almost always better to make more honey than making less honey. So yeah, try your best to overfill. Eventually, you gotta get into a late game hive. That late game hive is where everything's gotten super slow. It's basically you've win the game at this point. So solid late game hive, you basically win the game at this point. Probably the only thing that you need to do left is getting the Tide Popper, or maybe getting the digital bee as a late game hive. Now you have 2 options. Either you want to continue as a blue hive. If you want to continue as a blue hive, then go ahead and get the Tide Popper, or you can switch to a red hive, or maybe switch to a white hive, depending on your situation. Now, endgame hive. For the most part, endgame makes a lot of mistakes. The only mistakes that I see, not mistakes actually, mostly just skill issue, is Balloon Blessing. they have low balloon blessing. They don't go above 70 balloon blessing, but that again, they know that, and it's a skill issue. Which is, again, I totally understand, because like playing RBC as blue is really difficult. There are two of the best endgame Hive right now, which is, the first one is what I call the textbooks endgame. This one is real textbooks, you know, follow everything by the book, getting 500 drives on their digital B, all mutations, all expensive B equipped with a Tadpole ALT, and of course we got the new kid around the block, the Diamond B meta. Now in my recommendation, I highly recommend, of course, endgame number 1. The reason being is because that you, as a blue Hive, you still want to do Puffshroom run. You still want to do RBC sometimes. You still want to do big boosting, you know, huge boosting during Honey Day and stuff and whatnot. So definitely, in my opinion, endgame 1 performs better with Digital B. Digital B is just too OP. It is something that you gotta learn to take advantages of. And another reason why I don't recommend the Diamond B meta is because the Diamond B meta is super overly specific. It needs to have the right condition for it to work. I'm talking about like a strong Tadpole ALT. And also, the worst thing about Diamond B meta, it's really good at making honey, but it's bad at everything else. You wanna do RBC with this? You want to do Pushroom run with this? It's gonna be difficult. So again, I highly recommend that you get the textbooks endgame Hive. But Diamond B meta is good too. Again, if you mostly want to focus on making a lot of honey. Now, there's another name for this. Another name for this is, of course, the non-macro blue. For those of you who are a blue Hive and don't macro, just do a bunch of boosting. Get a bunch of Nectar, you know, like every single day you play Bee Swarm just to collect Nectars. And by the end of the week, you'll do big boosting. You'll do really huge boosting. It's totally okay though. 4 hours of really good boosting is equal to 3 days of macroing. So don't worry. If you felt like, you know, as a blue, you don't macro, you're gonna get left behind. No, you're not. Just do big boosting for 4 hours. Now, RBC Blue Hive. The biggest mistakes that I see when people doing RBC as blue is, of course, 2 things. Number 1, Star Shower. They don't set up their Star Shower properly. They don't, you know, before you start a round, your Star Shower should be at least 30 out of 45. Because when you collect every single star on the Star Shower, oh my goodness, you gotta complete missions so fast, it's not even funny. It's probably even faster than Red Hive itself when you play Star Shower correctly. And number 2 is, of course, Fuzzy ALT. Again, for those of you who are worried, like, oh my goodness, I don't have a Fuzzy ALT. Bro, we have talked about this before. Collaboration. Literally, on Bee Swarm Guide server, you can hire people to do Fuzzy Alting service for you. Now, who is this guy? Look at this. 1 RBC run for 1 sign? That is so cheap. Dude, my Fuzzy Alt literally looks like this as well. So again, don't get a headache. Don't like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? No, just join a bunch of servers. People, you can just pay people to do services for you. And lastly, a Tadpole ALT, another alternative Hive. Again, I highly recommend that you build a Tadpole ALT yourself. It's not that hard for you to build one. If you have a Red Hive person, maybe Red Hive friends, you can do a bunch of Commando Chick and speedrun Tadpole ALT in just 10 days. First of all, mutations, B equip, and natural macro setting. I'm not gonna talk about this. I'm not gonna talk about it. The reason being is because that mutation, B equip, and natural macro setting can always change in the future. And I'm trying to make this Blue Hive guide as future-proof as possible. You know, in the next 5 months, someone's gonna find a new code, a new meta, you know, you gotta use this different B equip now. In the next 10 years, B Storm is gonna be a lot more different, and you're gonna use different mutations on your B, and like maybe different natural macro settings. So I'm not gonna talk about it, but I am gonna link Blue Hive Guide 101 made by Pro Blue Hive. As you can see here, a lot of Pro Blue Hive. This Blue Hive is being updated, I believe, every week or maybe every month. As you can see, like if you need any external information about what kind of mutation should I put on my bees and stuff and whatnot, and amulets as well. Yeah, like what should I get on my Supreme Star Amulet and Stickbug Amulet? No problem, get it all covered. Basically, all of them were covered here. Again, meta can change every single day, but it's totally fine. Because you can edit document like this on the fly, on the go, but I cannot edit my videos on the go, you know, and it will be a shame, you know. So I'm trying to make this guide as future-proof as possible. RDP. Now, what is an RDP? Well, it is really simple. I'm making a video right now, and I'm still macroing. Yes, I'm making a video while macroing as a red hive. The way that I do this is, of course, a concept by the name of RDP. Again, I'm not gonna go ahead and explain it. There's a document here that's probably gonna help you. There's another great video by Sniper Thriller that helps you a lot when it comes to setting up your RDP and setting up the best natural macro setting as well. And also, he has a Discord server that's gonna help you a ton when it comes to RDP related problem. Lastly, a tat sync. What do I mean by a tat sync? Well, it is really easy. Have you ever gotten a situation where your macro go to the blue field booster, and then, for example, you got bamboo field boost? Now that is a free bamboo field boost, and you don't want the bamboo field boost go to waste. If only my macro know to do a boost on bamboo field. And this is what a Tadpole Sync alt does. Basically, what a Tadpole alt Sync do is that both you, your main account, and your Tadpole alt account is gonna go to bamboo, and they do a boost. And if you use glitter, you're gonna get twice the amount of pollen. So you're gonna be making a lot more honey for literally free. As always, Sniper Thriller, the GOAT himself, also had a video on how to make a Tadpole Sync alt. You gotta make like a lot more. If you guys had any more question, please do not go to my Discord server and do not ask any more question, because I will not be answering them. Unless your question is like super overly specific, that is really difficult. So you actually need some help. What is my cup buddy doing? But I guess that's it for me. Thank you so... What? Hello? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next stream, short and video. And good luck. Good luck with your blue hive journey. Bye bye.